Hello all and welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus. There's only one day left before the Feast of the Winter Star, and I need to get myself a little bit more prepared. For starters, I've totally forgotten who my secret prize person is, which isn't good. I think you've clearly given me an iron bar. Oh, that's actually a really useful reminder. I didn't actually expect to get a reminder of this is who you're supposed to be giving to. That's real helpful. Right, so I've got Caroline. Now, if memory serves, she is quite fond of green tea. And, well, if all else fails, I can just give her a green tea. That's probably a little bit more cost-effective than giving her a prismatic shard, which is kind of my other option, really. Going with it'll work regardless of whoever, wherever, because it's a prismatic shard. Everyone loves those. Now, as mentioned by one of my lovely viewers, I'm going to be slapping in a bunch of jade into the crystallariums here. So I'm going to have some that are producing diamonds, some that are producing fire quartz, and some that are going to be making jade. And the jade is entirely and utterly for making staircases. I say making, exchanging for staircases, and that will be a fantastically useful trend for myself, and I'm looking forward to that as a general thing, because that'll be really helpful, because why would it not be? I mean, duh. But yes, the more staircases that I can obtain is going to be predominantly really handy for getting further down in the caves, and well, not really the caves specifically, but more so in inside of the Skull Caverns, if I do get another quest from Mr. Key to try and get far down in there. Of course, I'm going to be smelting a bunch of the resources that are available here that I've got a big pile of that need getting rid of. I say getting rid of, it's just, you know, using them in a sensible and effective manner. So that's not going to be too difficult, really. But we've also got all of this, the resins and saps that are going to be useful later on. Now, one of the big things that I'm kind of looking at is how can I use the resins and saps a little bit more, because I do have a stockpile of some of them I don't really have so much of, and kind of a given, really, that I know some of them I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time actually obtaining and actually using, so it's just working my way through what works best for them. But for now, we're going to grab a few other resources whilst we have the opportunities and just see what we can do today. I'm not expecting to be able to do a silly amount of stuff today, but I do have a couple of ideas of things that I want to do. One of which is... oh, a sparkling golden chick. Okay. Now, my brain's just instantly gone to... I'm going to call it Chocobo, because... Chocobo. Now, I'm sure that's going to annoy somebody, because I think they're called chocobos in the game itself. It seems a bit strange for me, but again, I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced specifically. It's probably following American pronunciation, where the first vowel generally is accented and elongated. So, that's a thing. Don't really care. But for now, we've got all these eggs that need to be turned into mayonnaise. Now, I've put the golden egg into hatch because I want to have 2 golden chickens. I don't know whether it gives you a specific better mayonnaise. I mean, that'd be kind of interesting if it does. I'm not expecting that to be the case, but I'm curious. So I will try that out at a later date. But for now, we're going to just process them into regular mayonnaise because I need it. No other way about it, really. It's just, I want to use the golden eggs to get more golden chickens, because I've now got that possibility, and that's kind of cool. And that's really kind of all that matters to me on that sort of logic. Now, I've got all the ostrich eggs as well, which I do want to use in the mayonnaise making process, because I don't really need them for turning into more ostriches. For now, I've got a few, and that's kind of all well and good. I don't really need any others. That's fine. So we're going to have a look and see on what sort of works for me there. Okay, so let's pop those in there. That's fine. Sell those. Now, I've got some of the wooden floorboards just because I know that I really want to use a few of those and actually pop them in. Because the thing is, it's a nice look, really, honestly. So we'll see what else I can sort of organise with that one. Okay, so as you can see, I'm slapping the flooring down, and I think that looks a little bit nicer. I think I'm going to need more, however, as a general rule of thumb. Now, I've got a lot of just different resources in the pickling shed there, so I may need to redistribute where I keep some of the resources, because some of them are, well, just piled up there for almost no reason, which is kind of understandable in the fact that, of course, they're going to be lying around because I'm not using them actively at this moment in time, but potentially they could be being used in a little bit more of a better and more effective manner, potentially. Kind of need to look at it that way more than anything, don't I? But for now, let's just quickly pop in here. So we've got some beer that's ready, so that'll be nice. And, well, we'll grab that. What can we put in? Oh, we don't really have much else, do we? Oh, dear. See, this is what I mean. I need to redistribute what's in the sheds, because I haven't really done that so much. Not here, at least. I definitely need to reorganize and redistribute, just to make sure everything's a little bit more, well, better organized more than anything is probably the best way of putting it, because, yeah, I'm not doing it particularly well, am I? Well, that's not how I view it. I'm not really organizing my inventories that well. But I guess that the problem with that is it's just remembering what you've got and where you're going to damn well put it, because, well, yeah, it's kind of a bit of a bugbear for me, because I don't entirely always know where I want to put stuff. But, well. Okay, so we're going to quickly grab some mushrooms. Now, this is the problem I have with the mushroom cave. It's well, I say problem I have. I think it's more specifically I have the problem with it because I'm too scatterbrained to remember that it exists. And that then therefore means that I miss out on using it as effectively as I probably and rightly should. So I do feel a little bit dozy in that regard because, well, I'm not using a resource in quite the best way that I could. So, you know, that's I'm an idiot, but I'm painfully aware of that. So we've got lots of this iron and quartz here, which will be good. We're just going to smelt those. Now, I think I should probably smelt some other things later on. Not right now, though. I've got some ideas, but right now I think we're good. Okay. I could summon the horse, but I don't need to because I'm going to Ginger Island for a little bit first. Okay, there's Pam. I'm hit with a hammer. Now, fish jerky seems like an unusual concept. Dried fish. But that may just be because of what I'm used to. I mean, I assume that it might be a thing, or must be a thing. I'm just reminded of playing Don't Starve, where one can hang fish on a drying rack and end up with small jerky from it. Kind of a best way I found to keep food for long term. The problem I genuinely have played Don't Starve together. I've really enjoyed it as a game, but my goodness, there are times when I've just gone, well, I don't really know what to do at this point to try to actually get a stable quantity of food because of how fast things can rot. And yeah, it's very important to have a good collection of food. Otherwise, as the name might suggest, you will starve. It's almost like that's how the game works. It's a good fun game, though. It's definitely one I would recommend. I've very much thoroughly enjoyed it. Especially with playing it with other people, because the most I played it with was 3 other people, so we had a 4-player game, because that's how maths works. And there were a few issues with it, I will freely admit, because we had a few times where we essentially screwed ourselves over. To be very honest about it, we messed up. We messed up hard. Because we would end up trying to make sure that we'd have like one person doing one resource and one person focusing on another. So, you know, we had that, and then one of us would also be exploring to try to find things. So, for example, there was a good chunk of the game where I was doing the exploring, and I ended up so far off the base and just getting killed a few times. It was really good, really bad. Good fun, but very bad. Anyway, now, one of the things that I've got here, I've quickly grabbed 100 fibre because I need to take that and deposit it in the Mr. Key's prismatic grange box. Same with the copper. The trouble is I'm running out of fibre now, which I think I'm going to have to try and maybe plant some fibre seeds to try and make some more. I mean, it won't be too difficult to sort out, but it's nice that that is a thing, so you can get more of it than you might expect. So it's good that I can get it, and that's kind of the important thing for me here. But otherwise, we're going to pootle on over to the bottom part of the farmhouse, and just going to deposit the veggies and other stuff away for now, because I don't really need them all at this moment in time, which is, I believe, kind of understandable, because I don't. I don't need them all right here, right now. Anyway, so let's see what other things we can sort out. So I'm going to grab some of the blueberries, and I'm going to, because of course I want the blueberries for the blue crop, and then I'm going to put the cranberries in for the red. And what else is there that I could do? In honesty, I don't really know what other stuff that I could do. So that's kind of going to be how this is going to roll. I've got a couple of ideas, but we will see. Because again, I've got some ideas on how I can make this a good, effective use of my time and resource. So we'll see how well this goes, at least. Okay, so we've ridden into the Ginger Island farm. We're going to go and speak to Mr. Key and sort out the general depositing of stuff. Because that's the thing, is we're going to have a lot of just random stuff that needs sorting out here for now. Okay, Mr. Key. Let's deposit these things here. So we've got some of those. That, and that. Okay, so that's most of the colours done. Just got, what, purple, I think, now? Yeah, so that's the bug meat one. That one's going to be pretty easy in the grand scheme of things, considering I still need to go and murderize a bunch of grubs. So, that's going to be a thing that we will do. Murdering grubs, of course. But, I'm just trying to figure out, is there anything else I can... No, I've grabbed the sword, because... if memory serves, where the grubs are is essentially the underground forest part of the dangerous mines. So there is a good chance of spawning fibre, which has a good chance of giving me hay, being that my sword is a hay nail. Oh my goodness gracious me, that's a lot of insects. And I see insects, sorry. I mean, they are spiders, but they only have 6 legs from what I can see. So that, I mean, technically speaking... they're insects. Just spidery looking insects, I guess. Yeah. I guess. I think. I mean, I'm not sure, to be fair. Right. Anyways, I'm going to murderize these things and hopefully get some more coal, which, again, very useful stuff. Always handy. I'm never going to be upset about getting coal, because at no point am I ever not going to need the damn stuff. I think that's going to be a general rule of thumb. I'm going to need it constantly. And that's maybe not disappointing or depressing. It's just going to be a thing where I'm going to need it. And, yeah. Kind of annoying. Not the end of the world. But let's sort this one out. So... I mean, we're floor 63. We're not really finding any of the damn things. I know they spawn on these grassy floors, so maybe it's higher up. I mean, that's certainly a possibility that maybe I'm too far down in the grassy void. So, maybe I need to have a go and see. Hopefully we can figure out something. And that's kind of the big quandary I have, honestly. Because I do want to find these damn grubs, because I want the meat. As well as the actual reward from Clint, whatever it is. I don't think it's going to be particularly good, because of course I've done all of them once already. So I've got the special reward, And I think he just gives you some money for kicking the hell out of them. For, you know, you killed some things. Well done. Thank you very much. Yeah, you've done a good bit of mercenary work. So, yeah, it's definitely not this far down. Okay, so let's have a look and see. Because we might see it. I mean, I'm not expecting it, but we might. Okay, so still nothing. That's a little disappointing. Oh hum. I guess maybe it's higher up then. I mean, 51 seemed like a reasonable shout, but perhaps not. Well, we're going to murderize everything that's here anyway. Die, jumpy bug creature. Blech. Go away. I think that's a thing that just needs to die and go away. Kind of a given, right? It just needs to be gone. Leave me alone, please. Okay, so fiddlehead fern. That's something useful. I like that. What other things can we grab whilst we have the opportunity? I guess that's the next big question. Hopefully we can grab something good. Well, nothing else on this floor, really. That's a bit disappointing. Nothing much else I can do on that, though. Okay, so we've got some ghosts. We've got lots of just general crittery. And again, being able to swing the hammer around to do the AoE effect, sorry, the area of effect zone, is phenomenally handy. Now, I'm sure that's an abbreviation that many people have heard of and are aware of, but something I learned reasonably, not recently, shall we say, but a while ago, I learned how confusing it can be to actually use a lot of jargon, because it's not always something that you're gonna be able to understand. And I know that might sound particularly daft in some ways, but when you honestly look at it, sometimes not everybody will understand what you think is very normal language. And it is a difficulty, because especially when it comes to business stuff, if you've got a company that are using a lot of jargon that they know what that means, but you don't, kind of makes you feel a bit stupid. And because you don't want to ask what it means a lot of the time, because it's like, well, I don't want to reveal the fact that I don't know what it is, but it's, you know. So it's an important thing, like using as little jargon as possible. So anyway, we've got lots of these ghosts that need to die. I'm still kind of hoping at some point to find some of these grubs. I think maybe floor 50 is too far down. Well, I'm going to return home for now. It's the Feast of the Winter Star tomorrow. And we're going to quickly stop in and see Clint. Because we've got the copper done. I mean, I think we did that the other day in our first attempt through. And I do really want... excellent, there we go. So... handed that over to Clint. He's happy with me. Wonderful stuff. That's all good. I'm glad he's a happy chappy. Because, yay. Why would we not want that? So, that's that sorted out. Where next? I guess is the next question, isn't it? What do we need to do next? Well, other than depositing things into the chests, I think that's pretty much us done for today. I believe. Well, let's just grab all these things and just kind of hope for the best. Grab all those. Lovely stuff. Hunky-dory. Wonderful things. Stuff and stuff. Doobry, shoobry, doobry. What next? Well, I don't need that many solar essences, do I really? So let's sell some of those, just make a little bit of extra money, just for the sake of making a bit of extra cash. I'm never going to be upset about that. Okay, that's fine and all. And probably should head to bed now because it is coming up to that time. It is very important for us to be in bed and asleep before, well, we are forced to do so and pass out on the farm because we don't really want to do that. And we are coming up to that sort of time. Now, tomorrow's going to be a bit of a clipped day, being that it is the Feast of the Winter Star, and there's not going to be a huge amount else that we can do regarding it, sadly. So that's going to be a little disappointing, honestly. So hopefully we get something good, because I've still never received the tea set. I know that is a great item that one can receive as a gift from the Feast of the Winter Star, and as yet I think I received some stone from Robin. Yeah, that was real useful. I mean, yes, I'm sure it was at some point. It was actually useful, but it was still kind of depressing as gifts do go. It's like, thanks, Robin. You're so nice to me, giving me stone. Just what I always friggin' wanted. Hello, child. You are small. You can tell I'm real good at this, can't you? This whole parenting malarkey. I'm real good at it. Okay, so we've got some tea leaves there, which we can use for something, I guess. I guess that's kind of the big question, is what else do we want to use this stuff for? Well, I think we'll go and say hello to the lovely wife. Good morning, dear. You'll be thinking to me, that's adorable. It is quite sweet how loving a lot of the spousal candidates are, and it's just sweet. You know, it's small things, I'm aware, but it makes me happy that you know, you can find someone who actually makes you that happy, and that's a wonderful thing. Actually, is finding somebody who makes you happy. Okay. Before I start going down a weird, not depressing route, but you know, it's a bit of an odd tangent, isn't it? Me chatting nonsense about lovey-dovey nonsense. So yes, we've got some more stuff that we could smelt and get out of the way for now. Being that it is, goodness, it's already 10 past 7, so we've still got time, which is good. It's not like we're like completely out of time for doing anything. So we are kind of lucky in that regard. Goodness gracious. So I'm debating whether I kind of move these fish, like these crab pots, and put them in the sea, because I was using them to try and make the fertilizers, but now, considering I don't really need to, actually it might be more prudent for me to completely ignore that as a thing and actually, well, do something better with it. As daft as that might sound. Maybe use them in the sea to actually get stuff that I could use for cooking purposes. So perhaps that might be a good idea. I mean, maybe. I'm not expecting it to be a particularly good idea, but it's an idea, and yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. That's the logic, at least. Is I've got some idea about doing some stuff and doing some things. So we're going to grab all of these pickled yams and jellies that we've got out of here. Now, the thing I'm kind of considering is what other stuff could I put in? Okay, so the Feast of the Winter Stars started. So I do need to be a little bit more brain in gear for this. So let's quickly slap in all these blueberries. And I think we're just going to make a big lump of blueberry jelly. That's going to be an easy one. Oh, that's not enough. Have I got anything else in my inventory? Okay, right, so we're going to make some garlic, I think, and some peppers and yams. I mean, pickled yam, that seems reasonable, I guess. Not something I've eaten much of, yam, actually. Again, it's the thing is when I look at food stuff that are being grown, I'm going, you know, I don't think I've eaten that before. Or I haven't eaten it much, and I'm curious. I think it'll be interesting to see what sort of things I've started adding to my food stuffs. Like the stuff that I try a bit more. in these days since playing Stardew. I can't imagine there's a huge amount extra. Righty, so we're in the Feast of the Winter Star, and it is indeed a lovely day to be thankful for things. Yeah, I'm going to give Caroline her secret gift of some green tea. I mean, she enjoyed tea, so that is good. I mean, it's better than giving somebody a crap gift. Sebastian, you're my gift giver this year. What have you given me for Christmas? Let's find out. Hopefully something good. Well, I'm going to open it, don't worry. And you've given me a poppy seed muffin. I mean, it's a bit disappointing, but that's the best you could afford. Well, that's depressing. Well, bit anticlimactic, bit lame, but we've got some stuff. Woo. I mean, there's not really much else I can say on that one, is it? Yeah, I know, I'm terrible. Oh my, Haley, you monster. Your sister's telling me off for being all work-related and thinking about work. I mean, how dare I want a nice new watering can? I mean, hey, if I could have had, like, a free upgrade watering can, that would have been grand. Just being able to go, oh, no, I don't have to use any resources. Woo! I don't have to pay any money. Yay! I know. So, I don't think there's really much else that I can do here today. But I do want to visit Leo, because being that it is his first time in all of the Stardew Valley events, I'm curious to see. That's quite sweet. Mashed winter root and spiceberry fish. I mean, that sounds interesting as a flavour combination. I mean, interesting stuff. Ah, the winter star. Something star drops. I mean, yeah. It is a beautiful tree, and Pam is salty about not winning the ice fishing competition. Well, the reason you didn't win it, Pam, is because I'm just better than you are. Just remember, be good, not terrible. It's an easy mantra to live life by. If you're terrible, well, of course you're not going to get anything good, are you? That's literally how this works. Right. It's 10 past 10. Now, we're going to go and try and murder the grubs, because we really do need to do that. But the question is, where? As, again, as daft as that may very well sound, that is what we need to do. We've got grubs to kind of catch, and we need to get them. So, maybe we'll be able to sort that out, I guess. Well, we're going to slice up these bits here and go further down. So, there's a grub! Excellent stuff. So I was correct. So they do spawn in these grassy areas. That I was correct about. That's nice to know that I wasn't barking up the wrong tree. But it does appear that maybe I just had some bad luck, but they appear to spawn in the higher up areas. So we're getting a good bunch of bug meat, which is good. And I'm just going to murderize these bouncy ones. We're going to jump down here. And we've got some more bouncy ones. The dust sprites, which are mushrooms. Because that's just how hard mode works in the weird and wonderful mines. I don't fully understand it, and I'm never going to pretend to be able to understand it. But that is just how this works. For some reason. Hey, it's a thing, and stuff. No ifs and, like, no ideas, really. Okay, so it's getting late already, so... Ooh, that's a lot of bugs. Hopefully we can actually murderize enough before we need to go back to bed. I mean, I've still got a few to kill. I don't understand why there's a pile of stuff over here. I mean, I'm going to grab it, because free stuff that I don't have to do anything to get. Great, I'm all about that. Again, because I didn't want to go down. That's very annoying. I wanted to slam my hammer into the ground. Well, that's frustrating. Well, at least I'm going to murder them. And I'm going to pull out the sword and get some free hay from these big piles of fibre, which is good. And goodness gracious, so we're almost at 1 AM, so I'm pushing things a little bit here. So I really need to get my butt in gear for this one. I guess for now, it's going to be head on back. We're going to go ready for bed. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you have enjoyed, please do like, share, and subscribe, because it's always really nice and helpful. Please do comment as well, because I do read them all, and I always do try to respond to them. If you have any ideas of things you'd like to see me do, please fire away. But I will leave you there. Thank you very much, all my lovely Patreons. And hopefully I will catch you all again the next time the Walrus plays Stardew Valley.